welcome to this episode. Today we're going to be taking you through our little tour of the lava fields north of Terrace. Before that, however, we just got in. We spent the evening out at the lake. I got out and did a little bit of fishing, and when it turned into an exercise of meditation, I decided that it was probably time to put the rod and reel away and do something else. So we each took a turn on our stand-up paddleboard.
Well,
it's new to us.
One of us stood up.
Yeah.
I sat down. Oh, it's gorgeous.
It was really nice. The lake was great. But we got back and it's now sun has set and we're getting ready for this episode. Couple of things to be aware of before we get into this one. We have been through Jasper several times, many times. I've been to conferences there. We've spent holidays in the area. We had an episode earlier where we had just gone through Jasper on our way into British Columbia. And what happened was we were camping in McBride at a nice little campground about 2 kilometers outside of the town site. And when we got there, if you looked north across the highway, this is what the hill, the large hill, the mountain, the small mountain, the micro mountain, the big hill, whatever it is, this is what it looked like. The next morning we got up and there was ash all over the truck. Everything
like,
was...
I could see it.
Yeah.
Chunks. And I looked at the BC fire map, and I had looked at it the day before, and there's nothing. There was a fire somewhere. Well, there's a fire all over the British Columbia. It's a forest. But that morning I looked up and there was an evacuation alert from the river, and we're on, we'll say, this side of the river. So McBride is on the other side of the river. So it's from the river east, not to Valemont, but it was all evacuation alert.
Yeah.
Because there was a fire. And I thought, let's not be one of those people with the fire licking at the bumper.
Yeah.
And you have to leave things behind. Let's go now. So we forfeited a night, and about 5-10 minutes east, because we were going back to Spruce Grove, there's all these people parked on the side of the road, and we pulled over. Maybe there's a bear, but there's all this smoke on the north side, and I got out. I took some shots. And just before I got in, I looked further west, and you can see flames.
Yeah. So it would have been about maybe 1 kilometer off the highway, kind of up on the side of the hill.
Yeah, it looked close, but looking at the photos, it was further. It looked close.
Yeah.
So in the photos,
this was the fire that was creating all the smoke. And the smoke was drifting directly towards McBride. So the hill that I showed a minute ago, this is what it looked like that morning. You couldn't see it. It was just smoke. I'm trying to breathe. You'd open your mouth and you'd suck in ash. And I learned a long time ago to trust Libby's intuition. And when she said, I got a feeling we should get going, we got going. We got as far, so we didn't even stop in Jasper.
We just kept
right through, and we ended up in a park called Obed
Provincial Park.
We will talk about that in a future episode. But suffice it to say, a few hours later, we were joined in that campground by people who had just been evacuated from Jasper.
Yeah. The next morning, there's people still hooked up, but they got in at 2 a.m. What's really kind of interesting is that we passed Jasper, and I'm thinking, you look tired driving. And I thought, maybe we should stop at Snaring campsite. But no, he said, no, I'm fine. So we got to Obed. Apparently, Snaring is just fired out.
Yeah.
So,
So
we would have had to keep going anyway.
yeah, we feel ourselves very fortunate because not only did the evacuation happen just hours after we passed by, but later that day, the second day, we ran into another family who was in Jasper. They weren't able to go east. They actually got sent west, and then they had to go down through Valemont, Kamloops, and all the way back. We ran into them at a campsite outside of Spruce Grove, and so they were part of the evacuation.
Yeah.
So what I really wanted to say is how unbelievably devastated we are that happened. Looking at the photos, I do want to give a shout out to the news crews who were in the area, and many of my former students. Well done. You did great on the reporting, keeping us up to date. But
And keeping themselves safe.
The true heroes here are obviously the first responders. It wasn't just the folks from Jasper, but all the surrounding communities that sent rigs in and medical services and whatever else.
New Zealand.
Huge shout out to those folks who came in and contributed to helping out in any way they can. Devastating that this happened to a town that we have grown to love.
And it was interesting because on our way west, we stopped and we mailed birthday cards.
Yeah. So for our kids that got their birthday cards, that's where it was mailed from.
And the post office is still standing.
Yeah. So, and to all of the folks from Jasper who were affected and impacted by this tragedy, our prayers are with you. Our hearts go out to you, and we just hope that the rebuilding process goes as smoothly as it possibly can. So on that note, we will go back to what this episode was all about, and that is to take you on our tour of the lava fields. And so we will do that now. that was our tour of the lava fields. What an amazing, amazing place.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is, I kind of knew it was there because I had people that had sent me photos of it. For some reason in my head, it was a lot closer to Terrace. I didn't realize it was about 100 kilometers away.
Yes.
Still, it's not that far away. But
the roads.
the roads were very
The roads
twisty.
are twisty and windy, but it's worth it.
Yeah. And so we managed in a full day. I mean, we were there pretty much the whole day. We left early in the morning and got back quite late. We only saw maybe a third
I think, yeah.
of the things that were available. So that's what we said in the video. Our recommendation is to do it over 2 days minimum, possibly even 3. Also, as we mentioned in one of the titles, that we plan on going back there again, but we're going to be staying at that campground.
Yes.
And if you would like a map of the auto tour,
Steve will put a link in the description.
yeah, it's also available at the Terrace Visitor Center.
Yes.
And it is also apparently available at the Visitor Center in the park, but when we were there, it was closed.
Yes, it has some really odd
hours. So
yeah, very strict hours.
yeah, better to get it. You can either follow the link that we'll send, put in the description, and print it out yourself, or stop at the Visitor Center in Terrace and pick one up. But absolutely worth it. I loved it. I didn't even know this was part of Canadian history. So,
yeah, I got to walk on lava.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd do that without leaving the country.
So we're still having fun. Hope you're enjoying what we're sending out there, and that it's encouraging you to get out and do your adventuring. And that is it for this episode. All right. Thanks for joining us.